Good
Morning. Thank you so much for offering this training.
Yeah, sure. And it's gonna be, well, thank you everyone for being here. It's gonna be not like your typical training of actually kind of having a lecture, but rather the hands-on kind of log into the site. And hopefully by the end of this session, you have your RNUA completed. So, so let me kind of go to the site where we will complete our RNUA. Let me just kind of log in there. So if you, let me put in the chat the website where you need to log in. You can log in there and let me share my screen so we can go and kind of get started. And also, as we know, each situation is going to be different, so we can answer questions about what you need if you have questions about what to disclose, and in those cases where there might be conflict of commitment or interest, then we can talk about how to develop a management plan. So let me kind of say share my screen. All right, uh can you see my screen there?
Yes.
And so just basically are there anyone new to the conflict of commitment and interest here? Probably some of the newer faculty like Bell, right? So the purpose, I mean, of disclosing is just to ensure that just kind of following the right procedures in terms of um, like make sure that the university is not being affected. For example, if faculty are teaching at a different institution, we need to make sure that those courses you are teaching are not it's not something like that UIS, for example, will be offering, or the time commitment. That's also another um, issue that we have seen, like some people wanting to teach three courses outside the university. It could be a conflict of commitment. But anyway, so let's kind of get into the portal. And then you can see here like a standard RNUA disclosure. So so the first here that you see is you have outside activities or financial interest to disclose. And if you say no, then it's basically really simple how you would, like for example, if I say no here, um, that the process is very simple. Um, as you can see also here, another option that you have is whether an outside uh, organization has paid for your travel. I mean, it's not problematic, but you have to disclose it. So may I ask, just to get an idea of what kind of situations we're um, having to address today, are there any of you who have like outside activities to disclose?
I just have a quick question regarding the reporting period. It is when you say for academic year 2026, it is from, so what is the period of reporting? Yeah.
The period there, and that's an excellent question, and thank you, Val, for asking that. So there is something, if you did something in the past year, that's something that and you haven't reported, you could report. That's what is the retrospective, that as they call it, the retrospective reporting. And the other is if you plan this academic year, let's say, to engage in a particular activity, let's say you are gonna start a business or have some kind of partnership outside the university, then will be that the prospective, something that you think that you will be doing this year, and then it's prior approval before actually start doing it.
Yeah, so regarding travel reimbursement, if we have reported it last year as a plan and it happened this year, do we have to report it again?
If you so if you happen as a plan but didn't happen until this year, right, yeah, you have to report it. Yeah.
Again, okay.
Because it's taking place this year, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. It took place this year. So
Yeah, okay.
2025.
2025. Yes.
Lucia, I have a question. I mean, regarding not reporting, actually, what we can do. Say, as you said that if you can start a business or uh, teach to another at another school, actually, what can we do that? Can we do any business while working at UIS or?
Yes, I mean you can engage in, you can have a business. It doesn't mean reporting it doesn't mean that it's forbidden. And I think we need to look into the details of the business that you are working on. If it's something that is related to what you are doing here at UIS, then we have to probably take a look at intellectual property, but it's something completely different. And that is just do, let's say, on the weekends. You need to disclose it, and then your um, unit executive officer will review it. And if they see there's no problem, any conflict, then they most likely would approve it. And Carissa, feel free to jump in at any time. I think you also have a great deal of expertise on RNUA. So,
Yeah, what I was going to say about it is, yeah, disclosure is not saying that it's a conflict or it's not prohibited. It's just seeing if there's a potential, if you might be using your university appointment to your advantage when you shouldn't be, or you're using a lab for personal gain, you shouldn't be. So it's really just looking to make sure that there's this separation between your company and what the university is doing so that there's no unnecessary overlap, is what's being looked for.
Yeah, thank you, Professor.
I also had a related question with business and other ones. So I appreciate all the questions that are asked so far and your guidance. So let's say someone sent me an email today that, oh, we love you so much. We want you to come to our school and give a presentation log on your research, right? And we'll pay for all the trips. So and I agree. And so do I actually fill out this form like again, say, hey, I'm going there, or I just go, they pay for my trip, and then I fill this out like pure academic business. So but as they say will, so the language is very clear. Maybe I answer my own question.
right. And then, Carissa, you want to take that one?
So, yeah, that is, if they're paying you directly, yes, you would report it. Again, it's not necessarily an issue, especially if you are doing it under your professor title, you're doing it purely for that academic. It's, again, reported, not prohibited. It's just showing that you did receive that payment for your travel.
Okay, thank you. Oh no, sorry. I reported first that I'm going. Do I wait for an approval before I go? So I missed that point.
Yes.
Like, I guess the department chair or whoever approves, they say, okay, yes, you can go. Like, I'm trying to understand. I get an email. I say, thank you, inviting me. So I need to run it by my school. So I run it by my school, fill out this form, and they say, yes, you can go. Then I go. Then I go, I come back and I fill this out again that, hey, I did. So if you can tell me step by step.
Yeah, that's a great point. And again, Carissa, I think you're more the expert here than me. I think that, I mean, it depends on the timing, you know. Do you know when your conference will take place, the
No,
one
it's
that
a
they
hypothetical question. There's
a
something I'm
hypothetical
interested in.
questions. Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, ideally you would say yes, kind of enter it here. And the other thing is that you can access this form anytime, right? Like for example, let's say now this is the time to disclose, kind of they give us an annual deadline to disclose, but let's say in January when you find out that somebody has invited you to go and they're going to pay for everything, yeah, at that point you will disclose, you will complete this form, and your in this case your unit executive officer, which would be your school director or department chair, would approve it.
Okay.
And but let us assume a different scenario where uh I don't know, maybe your unit executive officer was not available because they were out of town and you needed to go. So in that case, you will disclose it I mean, that's not ideal, but you could disclose it after you went there as a retrospective, but that's not ideal. So the idea would be that you as soon as you know, complete the form, and your chair or your director would approve it.
Okay. So ideally, I'll do it before I go, and then after I go, I don't have to fill it out again.
No,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
I have another question about our research. Actually, it is very common that we collaborate. I mean, we co-authored or the professors from different university co-authored our paper. So this kind of activity, co-authorship or collaboration activity with different school or different professor from different school, should we report here the research collaboration or co-authorship?
If it's just if it's just your academic collaboration, um, with no financial kind of implications, I mean, that's is within your roles as a university professor. So that would not require any disclosure.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a quick follow-up related to that question. So
Sure.
if it is like, for example, we are from the information systems area. So if we help an external entity to deploy an information system or some of their deployment work, which may not be research, but we are not paid for that, do we have to still disclose that?
If you are not if you are not paid, but are you using any university resources or any?
Again, this is a hypothetical question for now.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So let us say, yeah. So if we are not using any, it is just our expertise that we are using. No resources being used.
Oh yeah, no, in that case it won't be
Okay.
necessary. Yeah. Teresa, any comments?
With yeah, without the financial component, it does get a little messier. I might even still consider that consulting, even without the pay. Really, it's down to your best judgment. Are you reporting it for transparency to your supervisor is really what that is, because your expertise does relate to your university responsibilities sometimes. So if it feels like a direct overlap, I would say it's safer to report
Yeah.
than to not.
Yeah, that's a great point, Carissa. And then kind of the take-home message is if in doubt, just report it anyway. If in doubt. I
Got it.
think that's your best. And as Carissa, I think Carissa made a great comment. I mean, doesn't mean that you are forbidden from doing the activity, but the university needs to be aware of
Got
what
it.
kind of activity. So if you are not sure, you are, yeah, safer just to report it.
Got it. Thank you.
Um, are there any other questions, particular situations?
I also want to ask another question, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Please.
Thank you. So in terms of like engagement, whether consulting or any other thing, so let's say, it's allowable, something that I can do from university's point of view. Are there any constraints in terms of like a time commitment? Uh, you know, I mean, I guess I cannot be a full-time consultant, right?
Right, right. Yes, yes, that's an excellent question. Yes, there is a constraint in terms of time commitment, and that is about 1 day per week, the equivalent of one day per 7 week. Right, Carissa? Is that the kind of the
Yes.
threshold? Yeah.
So yeah, for full-time employees, that comes out to about 52 days per year. So if you wanted to multiply that by however long your day is, that could come into hours. But yeah, that's the kind of rule of thumb for the threshold is 1 day out of every 7.
So it's day, but not hours. Let's say I work, I don't know, 20 hours a day or something, right? I don't, but yeah.
Right. So yeah, they try not to tell you what your day is because some people
Okay.
do work shorter days than others. Yeah, so you'd multiply that 52 by whatever your standard day is.
Okay. And that's okay. And then that gives you the maximum that you can do in a year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not a hard, if you're a couple hours here or there, yeah, that's again just a rule of thumb for where the threshold is.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? And Carissa, I should have asked you this. I think there is a site where you can actually kind of play with RNUA to see hypothetical situations. You know about that? They used to have that in the past. I'm not sure they have it now.
I believe they still do. I will contact Linda Drost to see if I can get that. It's like a quality assurance kind of website, but there is a test. I just don't have the link.
Oh yeah, I don't have the link either. Okay. Um, and then as Teresa was saying, I mean, the fact that you disclose it doesn't mean that you are forbidden from doing it. In the cases where it gets a little tricky, where there might be a potential conflict, a second or a way to I guess deal with that situation is to develop a management plan. So all this reporting doesn't mean that the university is forbidding you from engaging in all those activities that are good for your professional development or any other growth. So just kind of let's keep that in mind. Are there any other questions that you
Uh,
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I don't know if okay, I'll ask again since you asked first. So in terms of this intellectual property, so is it like I guess there's no hard rule, so it requires some evaluation from your office. Like let's say we want to do let's go with Bell's example, right? So he's in Bell, you're in MIS, right? Okay. So he's doing MIS, there's some systems and all that. So that's different from, let's say, if Bell wants to have he wants to flip properties on the weekends, right? Wants to buy houses and fix them up, which
Yeah.
I guess that is not directly related to his training, but he wants to do it for fun.
Yeah.
So will they require different things, like Bell using his actual training to do something related to his training versus he's doing something very different. But they are both businesses.
Yeah, in both cases, they have to be disclosed. And of course, the one that is related to his training, as you said, depending on what he's doing, it might require us to work with the with intellectual property. But in the other case, even though, for example, the flipping the houses is not related to university, still has to be disclosed.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah. So if it relates to the intellectual property, so then does the university own a piece of business, or is still like a management thing?
It would depend on the situation.
Okay.
You know, it's and in that case, you have to work kind of closely with us, and we usually consult with UIUC's Intellectual Properties Office. We don't have that kind of expertise here, but they will guide us. It would depend, would be specific on the situation.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
can speak a little bit more to that. So
Definitely.
if it falls under academic copyright, and I can put a link to the where that is defined by the university. So academic copyright does not need to be disclosed, and that is under General Rules of the University, Article 3, Section 4. And it gets pretty in depth. Let's see, Section 4. So those do not need to be disclosed. If you are trying to protect patents, licenses, copyright, not through a University of Illinois system, Office of Technology Management, that needs to be disclosed. So again, if it's intellectual copyright, academic copyright, that is, you are writing a book, you are developing syllabus, something like that does not need to be disclosed. If you are pursuing independent patents, licenses, copyrights, those more than likely do.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and also as it says time is spent. So if we do a degree certification to another school, they are gonna champion, or if you go to industry to gain some industrial knowledge that will be helpful for my academic work. So should we report that if we do say a master degree or a internship in an organization to gain some industrial knowledge that I can apply to academic? So
If you are pursuing continuing education as a student, that does not need to be disclosed. If you are the one teaching it, yes, but as the student, that is not required.
yeah, I mean, I'm a full-time worker here. At the same time, I'm getting a master's degree from another school. So we do not need to report it here, right?
No.
Okay, got it.
But if you, let's say, if I'm teaching a class in a local high school, like one day a week, so then that needs to be disclosed. Um, even if I'm doing it like on a voluntary basis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So these disclosures, I guess there's a difference between conflict of interest and conflict of commitment. Typically, conflict of interest is if it has overlap with what you're doing at the university, whereas conflict of commitment is more time. So we're looking at how much time you're dedicating to things, even if it is on a volunteer basis. Again, not prohibited, just reported, keeping track.
But let's say we visit schools, that should be okay, right? Because we do that as part of community outreach, right? Let's say as it goes to school as a guest speaker, something like that.
Yeah, if you're doing it as part of your university appointment,
Yes.
it does not need to be
Fine.
disclosed.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, anything happening under your university title, your university hours, those things do not need to be disclosed. It's not considered an outside activity. That is still internal. We know about it. It does not have to be on this disclosure.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? And we don't have here like access now to, there is a website where we can kind of play, if you will, with all the different options, and currently we don't have access to that. But if you have things to disclose, you will get some options, and something important to include is a justification of what you are doing, what you are doing it. If it's And also you're gonna get a question in terms of, okay, how much time are you spending for the activity? So just make sure to include that information. And as Serkan was saying, I mean, in your case, if you still need to disclose that you are teaching a class on a voluntary basis, but if it's you are using about 1 day in a 7-week period, it should be no problem. Your department chair or school director would approve it. But
I
as
mean,
again,
even if we take money for that, it's not problem. Like,
you have to disclose it again. So you have to say how much you are teaching a class, what two things, how much you are getting. You know, they give you like different kind of thresholds of how much money you are getting. I mean, you still need to disclose it.
okay.
And
And as I
Lucy, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Garza.
I was going to say, even if you click yes and hit save and continue, nothing is final until that final submit
Oh,
button.
yeah. Okay.
So you can go
So,
through and show the different options
okay.
if you want to.
So, like I said, I don't have any activities, and I can say, if I say yes, okay. So, oh, okay. I see. I see. Let I say yes. So, here's an example. Um, a previous university's employment. Let's see, I can. No. And here, what is your new activity that you need to enter? For example, I could say here, entity Springfield High. As you can see, provide an overview of what you are doing there. Of course, if it is the universities and your entities in the US or not, and in some cases, if it's outside the US, you need to include where and and de decide whether any of this is applicable, like in this case for a foreign country. So, for example, I could say, yeah, Springfield High School. Let's say I teach a biology course, and in this case, to the best of my knowledge, it's in this case, no, and then in this case would be no. Oh, again, what did I get to here? What am I getting this here?
Even if you're in the United States, you have to explicitly put United States.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, that question has come up a few times in my email.
Okay, so good. Okay, so remember that if you are doing something in the United States, yeah. So in this case, United States, and as I save and continue, oh, I still get an error.
You also have to click add. That's the other part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It is tricky. They changed it. Okay. So level of financial interest, so you can see, in this case will be an educational institution. And of course, let us say that I'm getting paid like 25,000. Um, here's the other potential conflict of interest if we're using any university resources. If I'm doing it at the school, I would say no. And then, so here, that's where the time commitment, how many days I'm spending, and how many days have spent in the past, what is the retrospective and the prospective, how they spend in the future. And this is for in a contract period. So let's say if I spend, the threshold is 52, right, Carissa?
Yes.
So it just kind of goes into a set of questions, right? I teach, and then whatever, teach biology course. Or you can see the other activities like I do consulting, I serve as a witness or conduct research activities, manage a rental property, similar relate to the example I was provided before. And I do this off campus. Um, And I said here relation because I'm a biology professor here, and this example will say yes. And so you have to go over all the different questions here. And so here it doesn't overlap. So you just have to go through all the questions. Any other employees involved? Say no. And here's where we talk about intellectual property. Does the university intellectual property of which you are an inventor? In this case will be no. We don't use any university resources. And then you can add here, yeah, any additional information. So it's a matter of going through the different questions, and each case is going to be different for all of you. So, so just feel free to contact us if you have any questions or if you get stuck. I think something we learned about the United States option that you have to click add. So if you get stuck in a particular section, just feel free to contact us, and we'll be glad to see what is going on and answer your questions. We have here in the chat a question. Someone is at a dissertation committee in a different institution. Should that be added? And the answer is yes.
There was also a really good one in the chat that I want to bring up because it does happen quite often.
Okay.
You may not know about something in the 2-week disclosure window. So the disclosure window is for everyone every fall just to make sure they get updated. But if something new comes up, you can update your RNUA at any point in the year. So if you get a new adjunct position, obviously get approval first. And once it's approved, put that in your RNUA. If you get asked to serve on something new and you just didn't happen to know about it, don't wait for the next disclosure period. Update it as soon as you have approval.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, it is. We do kind of the mandatory disclosure once a year, but you can go into the system anytime and update.
Another great question in the chat, just to make sure it gets out loud and into the recorded video for other people who weren't able to attend. If you are doing something with University of Illinois Chicago or University of Illinois Champaign, that is still considered within the University of Illinois system and does not need to be reported. Yeah, so it's not just what you're doing on campus, it's what you're doing for the whole University of Illinois system. Counts as an inside activity.
Thank
Yep.
you.
You are very welcome.
Are there any other questions?
I mean, if both are no in the first case, then what we should write here? I mean, in the first case, if you go back to first page and select no. at the beginning, I mean, in the first case, right after the login.
Ah,
So
okay.
if you
Go
select
back.
no, none of these
Yeah.
questions pop up. These
Right.
only pop up if you select yes.
Yes.
No, oh
Yep.
no,
If you
I
have
think,
nothing to disclose, it's two really quick questions, and then you certify and submit.
yeah, I mean, it still show upload a file, add comments. So what we should write in the comment? I mean, if you can go back and
I can, it's not letting me go back. Carissa, you know how do I go back?
I mean, if you cancel, maybe it will take you to the first page.
Mm.
Yeah, if you resume your disclosure.
So you're saying you said no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you click both no, then uh,
Oh,
Since she's
okay.
entered things, it's going to have her delete them before she can select no. But yeah, if you select no, it it won't ask follow-up questions. Um, yeah, Lucia, for your example, you'll have to go through and delete the activities you've already added.
You have to, okay, so, okay.
But once you remove any activities, like if you accidentally put it or you realize this doesn't need disclosure, there's a garbage can option where you can delete it.
How do I do that? So you're,
So go ahead and put those back on yes for
I
now.
see. And then go back here and,
Oh, yep, delete, not a garbage can. I think some others have a garbage can image. But yeah, you can confirm that delete. And then
okay.
you can go back and update your answers, that green link on the bottom, where it says, don't think you have any activities or interests to list. Go back and
Yeah.
update.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, if I say no and no, um, well, if you don't have anything to add, I think you just leave that blank, right, Carissa? And just
Yes.
here in the add comment, like in this case, yeah, I don't have anything to add, just continue to the certification and submission.
Yep. If you want to say, I don't have any outside activities, you're more than welcome to, so your UEO sees it. But if you're not reporting anything, you don't have to put any comments.
so all right, I don't have anything to report, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do have things to report, this is a good place to upload an approval email or just any other sort of justification or comment. It's a really good place for adjuncts as well, because
Yes.
that's really where we recommend they put a lot of things in the comments, because they a lot of adjuncts have primary positions elsewhere. So it is very likely they will trigger a threshold because they're working more than 52 days somewhere else. So the system thinks it's a conflict, but they can put, I'm only teaching one course, I'm an adjunct, my primary position is at this university. So even though I'm reporting it, it's not a conflict. It's and at UIS, it's a lot smaller, so we typically know who our adjuncts are, but at the larger universities, it really helps to have that comment section, um, just so that it's an easy approval.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other comments or questions? All right. I'm not hearing anything. So Well, you know where to find us if you have any questions as you're completing your RNUA. So let us know how we can help.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Been very
Take
helpful. Thank
Bye.
you.
take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.